Good morning. You're awfully quiet this morning. We'll fix that. 2, 3.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Wonderful friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Last time. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. And can we give some love to our incredible band? Thank you for waking us up with that music. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, was interested in a spirituality that could reliably enrich the lives of all. And he says in his book, Ideas for Living, real giving is the givingness of the self. A kind word, a thoughtful act, perhaps just a smile, can help lighten the burden of others. So whether you're in the room or you're watching online, please know that you're very welcome here, where we work to lighten our collective burdens by honoring inclusion, diversity, and equity. Now, I invite you to join me in reading out loud our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And we learn to embody our mission through our 5 spiritual practices. And would you read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We use flowers at our center to send messages of love and appreciation to one another. And today's flower dedication is for Bruce Gatta. I'm looking at you right there, Bruce. Hi. And it's from Taylor Poff, Joseph Myers, and the entire CSL family. If you're sitting in a chair that he probably moved, or you saw a snappy tie and a beaming smile on your way into the sanctuary today, you've probably met Bruce. He has helped us organize our space in the center for many years now, and his love, dedication, and support for this community show up every single day that he's here. Happy birthday, Bruce, and thank you for all of the amazing ways that you share your love with our community. Your caring, generous spirit lights up the world. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If it's your first time here, would you stand as you're able or raise your hand? We would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for joining us today. I know that somewhere in the music, meditation, prayer, practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today, you will find exactly what you need for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you're very welcome here. Now, please enjoy some music before a short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the love is overflowing every good day.
Oh, the generous divine nature of spirit, unfolding, giving of itself to its creation always. A peace so deep, there's no floor, no ceiling. Love and beauty and divine intelligence that is the healer of all things. It is evidenced in nature and in the beasts of the planet that harmonize every day, their ability to be and to just be as they are. And then, of course, the divine, generous nature of its two-leggeds that are on the very edge of co-creation themselves, just by opening to what exists. And this goodness is God, and it is everywhere present. It's right in this moment, right in this breath. I am one with this generous nature of love and self-givingness, as I know each one here is, and beyond, and beyond, and beyond. And I claim that we live in the faith that this power and presence is ours to use and circulate and pay it forward and become more with this love in our hearts. So I bless this service and the music and the message and the coffee and the camaraderie, knowing that this generosity does circulate and grow, and it is good. My heart is gladdened with the truth of this prayer, and with that I just release it unto the law of mind. I give it up, knowing it returns to us, done and done well. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. I am Tamira Hume. I'm a practitioner here at our fabulous center, and I would like to invite you to read today's affirmation with me. I nurture my well-being and community through generosity. Thank you.
Check, check. Am I still swimming in reverb out there? Are you guys okay? Not as bad. Good. We got it then. All right. 2, 3, 4.
Someone needs a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from the heart?
So many are trying to find their way. They need the light, you know, for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Have you spoken the word today? Did you give your all in prayer? The world's in need of what you say. Did you answer the call and pray? So many are seeking the way to go. They need the light, you know, for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. You are the place you need to start. Throw open your mind and use your heart. Don't waste the time, don't delay. So many are in need of a prayer this day. Someone needs a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from the heart? Listen to the Spirit telling you to heed its holy call for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Your prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Fritchie and the gentlemen of the band. Imagine with me for just a moment that you are a really selfish person and you're asking yourself, how should I spend my resources? What do I need to do to maximize my happiness? Do you know that some people get the answer to this quite wrong? They might think, buy more stuff, spend my resources on myself, protect those resources and what I have. But research has been revealing something quite unexpected, and it's this, that the most effective way to increase your happiness isn't by buying more stuff. It's in giving to others. Scientists have been studying this for decades, using brain imaging studies, global surveys spread across 136 countries, with research focusing on volunteering and giving, making donations. And the data is clear. Generosity rewires your brain. It can help you feel better. It might even extend your life. Giving to people or to causes that you care about, well, that's more likely to maximize your happiness than buying stuff for yourself. because giving not only helps others, it also stimulates this reward system in our brain. And I'll share more about that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the issues of our time. You know, the increasing stress of just being alive, the complexity of life, it seems to be increasing moment by moment. So it's understandable why some people might want to withdraw or contract into self-protectedness. It's understandable that the idea of learning how to be more generous might feel overwhelming to some. Why should I spend more effort on being generous when I'm already scrambling to deal with the demands of life right now and the pressure of being alive? Why add more stress? Well, because it turns out that giving might be able to ease some of the pressures of life and help us reconnect to what really matters most. In recent decades, a growing body of research has revealed that giving to others produces psychological and physiological benefits. Now, the exact mechanism underlying this remains unclear, but it is clear that generosity does something powerful, both for the giver and the receiver. Acts of giving, whether small or large, they create what some scientists call a warm glow. And it's more than a poetic image. Studies show that pro-social behavior, like giving and volunteering, can raise our body temperature and stimulate the release of those feel-good chemicals like oxytocin, endorphins. And it produces what some psychologists now describe as the helper's high. You can get high on generosity. Now, we already know that genuine giving feels good, even though we may not know precisely how it works and why it does. Michael Norton, a professor at Harvard Business School, in an interview with Big Think, he said, "When we tell people that giving to others can increase happiness, it doesn't really surprise them. Most people already know this from their own experience of giving." So in a notable study, I think it was 2008, Michael Norton and his researchers, they gave a group of participants either $5 or $20 and asked them to spend it on themselves, or they had the choice to also, they could spend it on someone else if they wanted to. Interestingly, when another separate group was asked to predict which choice would bring greater happiness, most people assumed that spending the money on themselves would feel better. But by the end of that day, those people who gave the money away to others reported feeling significantly happier than those who spent the money on themselves. And the amount of money didn't matter. It had to do with the direction of the flow. Scientists have discovered something beautiful. When we give, our brain activity lights up. Studies show that acts of generosity activate the same part of our brain that is associated with pleasure and connection and joy and reward. In other words, we're literally wired for generosity. At least that's what Science of Mind has taught from its beginning. We know this. We are wired for generosity and kindness. And when we put our attention in expressing that, well, we're living our best lives. We're living spiritually. People who volunteer regularly, they report feeling, less discouraged about life, more satisfied with life in general. It's not a surprise then that selfless service, volunteering, is one of our spiritual studies. It's one of our practices. To us, generosity of spirit is both a spiritual practice as well as a scientifically supported path to feeling better emotionally and apparently physically too. Is it universal? Well, those same researchers found this connection between giving and well-being and happiness in almost 90% of all those countries that they studied, rich or poor, across every culture and walk of life. They affirmed that generosity doesn't just help others, but it has this reflexive help to us, the giver and the receiver. Today I'm thinking about all the ways that I've witnessed generosity, both toward me and giving to others, making a positive difference in my life. And this is my go-to story from my childhood. I remember this frequently. I grew up in a very poor family in a poor neighborhood. We didn't have much money for extras, swimming lessons or any extracurricular learning. But I discovered at school that piano lessons were being offered. I knew I couldn't afford the tuition, and it turned out they were giving it away free. So I signed up to learn how to play the piano. I didn't tell my family, I just signed up. And I would practice on the kitchen table, because we didn't have any piano. And eventually the free lessons series came to an end. And the next level of classes required payment, But in my youthful mind, I thought if I just carried on, nobody would notice. So I just kept showing up for lessons. But they noticed. And the teacher from the school called my family and said, he's been taking lessons for another semester and payment is due. Oh, I thought I was going to get into such trouble. But it turns out the teacher told my family how amazed she was that I managed to progress between lessons practicing without a piano. My family had no idea. I guess suddenly it made sense to them what I was doing on the kitchen table. So they made some agreement between the school and my family. They let me carry on taking piano lessons. Now, what I didn't know was that my grandmother, behind the scenes, had got the family together. They pooled their resources, and they bought a piano. Now, in our economically stressed family, I don't think many people can imagine what a gigantic task that was, what a sacrifice it was. Anyway, what I know is that I came home from school one day, and there was the whole family in the living space, which was also the dining room space. We lived in a very small home, and there right in the middle was a giant piano, and they were standing around proudly looking at it. And they asked me to sit down and play something. Having no idea, I guess they were expecting me to play some simple nursery rhyme. And I sat down and I started to play, and their jaws literally dropped and tears flowed. They had no idea. Their generosity in that moment made such a positive difference in my life. And it also did something for my family's life. It was a turning point in my family. Although their resources were stretched, their hearts were expanded that day in a way that no one could have predicted. It brought unity to a family that was under a lot of stress, and it also gave them a kind of dignity, a courage emerged in them. And eventually, in the long arc of things, it was also an economic benefit to them, because I made a career out of music. And when the time came, I was able to support them at that time when their country's economy collapsed. I'm also remembering today a time when a young woman in our community right here, she needed an alcohol and drug-free home during her probation period when she was sobering up. And it was difficult for her to find such a place in the community she was used to hanging out in. So I contacted people in our community and asked, and the outpouring of kindness and generosity, it really moved me deeply. People took her in and helped her make it. And I'm remembering also years after that, an 18-year-old gay man found himself without a home. And I reached out to our community again on social media, on Facebook. And by that very evening, I had moved him into a home in our community with one of our long-term members, where he basically became a part of their family. Now, what these families were willing to do to help strangers is inspiring. I call that generosity of spirit. And the interesting thing, again, in the long arc of things, it produced a powerful effect in these young people as they experienced the power of generosity and integrated it into their own lives and then became generous. Another year, a family came up to me close to the holiday season and handed me a stack of $100 bills, several thousands of dollars, and asked me to play Santa on their behalf. They asked me to give the $100 bills out to people just randomly who I thought might enjoy it, without disclosing their identity. I'll never forget that assignment. It was wonderful. You know, I would just turn on my spiritual radar and walk around and say, someone would like you to have this gift. Years later, one woman contacted me. She came back and talked to me, and she asked me, how was it that I knew that she and her 3 sons in that moment barely had a penny and needed help? And I said, I didn't know. I just let something guide me. And she told me that it changed everything for her. Not that the $100 was enough to get them out of their problem, but it was the generosity of spirit that fueled their courage and their resilience. I'll never forget that. Let me tell you another story about how your support of our center makes a positive impact on the lives of other people far and wide, people that you may never ever meet. I'm talking about through our nonprofit partner program. You know, every year we select 12 nonprofits, and soon I'll be revealing what next year's list is. But in 2015, one of our nonprofit partners was a foundation for children in Cambodia. It was created by one of our clergy members, Dr. David Alt, who was the minister in Atlanta at the time. He took a group of his people on a tour to Cambodia to learn about the spiritual culture there, and they were really struck by a level of poverty they had never experienced before. And he told me the story. He said, we just wanted to do something. So they went to one of the markets and they bought everything in the market. They went to another market and they bought everything in the market. It cost $80. And then with the guide's help, they took it to the poorest of communities on the river, where they met the matriarch of the community, and with her permission, distributed everything they had bought. And he said in doing that, he realized that he and his community could do much better. They could do more. So they founded a school in Cambodia for children. And by the way, as he tells the story, at one point he was imprisoned by the authorities and interrogated about his intentions. He founded this school because he fell in love with the children, because as he described it, they had this passionate desire to learn. So the mission of his school is to empower the lives of Cambodian children through education and quality of life assistance. And we supported that school for a whole year. Indeed, I visited Dr. David's school in Cambodia. I went there. I saw with my own eyes how generosity can bring meaning and fulfillment and hope and courage. Experiences like these, they've made a believer out of me, you know. I can say I'm almost superstitious about giving, because when I'm generous, my life is expanded and enriched, and I trust that. There's a paradoxical side to generosity too, and here's what I mean. We've talked about how giving naturally makes us happier and healthier and more connected, and these rewards are real to me. They come as a natural byproduct of authentic generosity. And here's the but. But the moment I give in order to get any of those experiences is the moment that something switches and it becomes transactional. When I want recognition, or a thank you card, or reciprocity, or even that helper's high, then the giving shifts and it turns into a business transaction. And transactions don't produce the same rewards as authentic giving. The reward is always in the giving itself. The joy, the meaning, the connection, the warmth. These show up when I'm not grasping for them. It's like trying to fall asleep by forcing yourself to go to sleep. The harder you try, the more elusive it is. I was in San Francisco, went to see a show, and I witnessed something, another learning experience. A pedestrian was standing at an intersection waiting for the light to change, and next to him was a man in a wheelchair who was obviously challenged even in getting out of the intersection easily. As they waited for the light to change, the pedestrian looked at the man in the wheelchair with a broad smile and handed him a wad of money. What happened next surprised me. The man in the wheelchair swatted his hand away angrily. I was struck by it, and I gasped and thought to myself, how ungrateful, how unkind. I felt my heart close down. But the pedestrian taught me something that day. He smiled at the man, put his hand on his chest, and he said, I apologize, I'm sorry. See, his giving practice was not affected by the reception of it at all. That man was teachable, and he taught me. Last week, I mentioned that generosity is not required. It's a choice. It's optional. But is it? Try to live life without being generous and see how it goes. Someone once said to me, living without giving is, well, it's like only breathing in. And the other side of that is living without receiving is like only breathing out. And I said last week, no one can pour from an empty cup. And if you feel empty, well, just showing up in the community is important. Receiving prayer, being in the atmosphere of love is important to replenish yourself. But may I suggest that you find a way to never think of yourself as someone who has nothing to give. I'll be talking about that next week. Let's recap, go back to the science of generosity from the Optimum Health Institute newsletter. A study by the National Institute of Health discovered that parts of the brain linked with trust, social connections, and pleasure are activated when we give, when we volunteer. The brain releases endorphins, producing a helper's high. A Harvard Business School study showed that giving money away is more satisfying than spending it on ourselves. And it goes on to say that generosity may support well-being by reducing stress and enhancing social connections. And while scientists haven't yet proven a direct cause between generosity and well-being, it continues to be the fact that generosity is consistently linked to these benefits in some way. It's possible that you and I don't need scientific research to be convinced, because the connection has always been part of our spiritual tradition since forever. Also, it's something we can practice and prove and explore all by ourselves. Try it. What happens when I'm genuinely and non-manipulatively generous? Indeed, for the rest of this month, the whole month, we're going to be talking about it. And next month, we're going to explore a powerful, next week, not next month. Next week, we're going to explore a powerful question together. It's this: what do I have to give? We're going to talk about the economy, the spiritual economy of generosity, because generosity isn't always and only about giving money or material resources. No, there's a part of it that depends on us recognizing the unique gifts and the talents and the qualities that we already carry within us. Sometimes even when we feel empty and stretched thin, we can still recognize someone needs a prayer today and give that. So I invite you to reflect on this in the coming days. What strengths, experiences, wisdom, or kindness, or talent do you have that might make a difference for someone else? What might generosity look like for you, even in times when you feel like you have little to offer? And together we'll discover that even in those times when we might feel depleted, there is always something meaningful that we can bring to the table. And in that bringing, we can renew ourselves and others, sometimes in delightfully unexpected ways. So I invite you to breathe in with me and to sigh as we turn within for a moment of spiritual practice. There is an infinite creative intelligence that flows through all of existence. A presence that endlessly gives of itself through itself without condition, without expectation. This is the sacred source of all that is, the original giver, expressing itself through every act of creation, through every breath. And I am one with this presence, as is each person here. The same creative presence that gives life to all flows through me right now in a life-giving way. I am connected to this source of unlimited generosity. And I realize then that I have the power to consciously choose to express my natural generous nature as my practice. I realize that when I give authentically from the truth of my being, I am aligned with the natural flow of life in me. I am expanded. I am enriched. The joy, the connection, the meaning I seek, I realize is already embedded in the act of giving. And so I declare I am free to share, knowing that this generosity flows naturally through me, never depleting me, always lifting me up. This realization fills me with deep gratitude It fills my entire being like a memory of home, like a truth of returning. This gratitude flows through every part of my being and warms my heart, lifts my spirit. I am filled with appreciation right now for the opportunities that are even in this moment presenting themselves for me to give, to receive, to connect, to serve, and to be in the flow of spiritual living. I release this word into spiritual law, knowing that it is already done. So I let go completely, trusting that the perfect unfoldment presents itself to me in easily recognizable steps and actions, and I am at peace. And so it is. I invite you to breathe in with me and sigh as we use this breath to make the transition from our spiritual practice to our time of supporting our center financially. As you prepare your gift, I want to remind you of the different ways that you can contribute if you'd like to explore them, as well as our text to give option. And if there's anything you'd like to know about how to contribute to our center or how the money is used or kept track of, please don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is edward@cslsr.org, and I'm happy to interact with you. I ask the ushers to stand as you prepare your gift. And won't you place your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection to this, your spiritual community, and say, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Divine, infinite one. Here's your part. Oh, divine, I lean into you. I lean into you. Oh, divine, infinite one. Oh, divine, infinite one. I lean into you. I lean
I lean into you. I lean into you. Oh, divine, infinite one. Oh, divine, infinite one. I lean into you. I lean into you.
Thank you again for all the gifts that you share with this community. Now, I'd like to share what I find wonderful about this community. And what I find so wonderful is how we reflect the best in one another. And I know that these reflections, they amplify our inherent good, and they're especially important during those times when it can be hard for us to see that good inside of ourselves. And so that's why I'm so glad that our next round of Circles for Spiritual Connection are beginning the last week of October. Now, our Circles for Spiritual Connection, they're small groups that are 10 or less people, and they gather in person or they gather online on Zoom, and what they do is they discuss spiritual ideas, particularly the spiritual ideas that are in our Sunday talks, like you just heard from Dr. Edward. So you can find your own circle by heading over to our website and registering for one that fits your schedule. And we have all of the schedules up there for you. Also, if you don't want to go online, you can go over to the info desk and we have an information form that you can put your information on there. And our facilitator, Chris Kelly, she'll reach out to you and she'll help you get connected to one of those groups. So I do hope that you check them out. They're an incredible way to find your way into not just community, but find your way into that reflection of that good that we all get to share with one another. All right, if you are an artist or a crafter, today is the last day that you can donate your original high-quality arts and crafts to our December Arts and Crafts fundraiser. And our art team is here today. They're out in the social hall to accept your pieces as well as answer any questions that you have. And I want to, this for everyone here, please save the date because that is very quickly coming in December. It's on December 12th, which is a Saturday. We'll have the art up for display and for sale, and all of those sales come back to benefit our center. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. And who knows, you might find some starry works of art from a certain assistant minister up there. Now, did you know that over the last 3 years or so, our center has sent the most teens out of any center for spiritual living community to teen camp? Yeah. Well, I often hear about our teens who are so grateful that they got to attend, and the phrase that I keep hearing from them is that it changed my life, and I know that they're not making that up. It is a life-changing experience. So you can help support the costs of attending Winter Teen Camp by purchasing beautiful holiday wreaths as well as delicious C's candies. And we have a table out there in the social hall that Jennifer Caldwell and our teens will be at today. And all of those purchases go to help our teens attend teen camp, not just for this coming winter teen camp, but also it helps throughout the year. So if you'd like to have a beautiful wreath or some delicious candy, today's the day, and we'll have that table there for you throughout October. Oh, and by the way, you can also order on our website. Now, each year, three members of our Board of Trustees will complete their 3-year term on our board, and that means that we have an opportunity to fill those 3 positions for the next term that begins in March of 2026. So you'll hear more about what it means to be a trustee in the weeks to come. We have 2 trustees who are going to be sharing. Lawrence Edwards and our board president, Adrienne Bowes, are going to tell you all about all of the wonderful things that our board is doing for us so that you can know what you're getting yourself into if you decide to sign up. So if you'd like to apply, you can find out more information about that on our website. And we also have a sign-up form to get more information on our information desk. Finally, I wanted to let everybody know, if you were interested in taking the Spiritual Mind Treatment for Beginners workshop today, we have rescheduled that. So it is not happening today. We will have a future date when we're going to hold that workshop, but just wanted to give you that FYI today. Now, our nonprofit partner for October is Food for Thought Food Bank, and many of you are familiar with the wonderful work that they do supporting or supplying meals and groceries to eligible persons and families with chronic health conditions or recent hospitalizations or even for expectant mothers. So we're going to be conducting a food drive in partnership with them, and we're looking for non-perishables over the next 4 weeks. So please stop by the table in the social hall. You can talk to them, and we'll also have blue bins out in our social hall where over those next 4 weeks you can bring your non-perishable goods and leave them there, and we will make sure that they get to Food for Thought. So here's a video from them telling all about their good work.
There were some times when picking up the food from here was the difference between eating and not eating.
Here at Food for Thought, our mission is to foster health and healing with food and compassion. Food for Thought is a nonprofit that provides life-saving nutrition services to people living with serious medical conditions in Sonoma County. Food for Thought was founded in 1988 amidst the AIDS epidemic to provide groceries for our seriously ill neighbors. Over time, we have shifted our focus from providing end-of-life care to providing comprehensive nutrition services to people with a wide range of serious medical conditions. We offer our clients choice of healthy foods like fresh produce, whole grains, and high-quality proteins, which are just a part of our nutrition-focused service. Our programs are all free of charge and help those who are living with HIV, who are pregnant and at risk of malnutrition, who are battling cancer, heart disease, COVID-19 and long COVID, tuberculosis, and those who are houseless and living with a serious medical condition. We also serve those who are recently released from the hospital without the means to feed themselves nutritious foods. In the last year, we served over 5,000 people and provided more than 335,000 healthy meals to our diverse client base. With the help of our volunteers, we hand-delivered over 10,000 orders to our homebound clients across the county. Because of the expansion of our programs, we need volunteer support now more than ever. Visit fftfoodbank.org to learn more about how to receive our services, how to donate, become a volunteer, and support our upcoming Food for Thought benefit events. We truly appreciate your consideration in supporting Food for Thought. With your help, we can continue providing food and love to our clients. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at Food for Thought.
Food for Thought for all the good work that you're doing, and thank you for being a part of our community. And please know the community does not have to stop with Sunday. Join us each Wednesday at 7 p.m. for our Wednesday evening service. And this Wednesday, we're exploring Chapter 7 of Ernest Holmes' book, Basic Ideas of Science and Mind. And that chapter is called The Personality of Value. Ooh, I'm excited. So have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Reverend Russ, and thank you for being here. If you would like a copy of the Spiritual Mind Treatment from today's message, I have them with me. I'll be at the statue of Saraswati. Come by and say hello, and I'll give you one. And if there's something in you you'd like prayer support for, just go to the host in the back corner, and she will connect you with a prayer practitioner who will sit with you, listen to your request, and custom create a Spiritual Mind Treatment, an affirmative prayer for you on the spot. And if you're online, online. You can do that by visiting our website. And the information to our private, confidential Zoom rooms is available there, and you can do the exact same thing online. With that in mind, won't you please stand as you are able and say, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. I'll see you next week. Let's close in song.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. Peace is every step. Peace is every